You know she hasn't done a shift, right?
Oh, yeah.
You don't find that strange? Once we get here, she steps back from all responsibility?
Your life is perfect. You got your kid. Probably gonna pop out a bunch more.
No, nothing pops. There's no popping. That's not the way it is.
Okay, whatever. It looks like popping to me.
Katie started.
That's a look at the new film, His Three Daughters, which is a very intense and touching story that dives into the complicated family of three estranged sisters as they meet in New York City to care for their ailing father while mending their own broken relationships. And joining us now are the three sisters, Natasha Lyonne, Carrie Coon, and Elizabeth Olsen. Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Hi, Morgan.
Hey.
I cannot tell you how much I can relate to this movie. I mean, it was just a year ago that I lost my dad, and I just happen to be one of three daughters. Natasha, you know, these three sisters have very different personalities. How would you describe their dynamic?
Well, I would enjoy if we all talk on top of each other so we find out together. Yeah, I think it really, I think a family is a funny thing. It's almost like a Rashomon. Everybody's got their version of events. Would you guys say that's true?
Absolutely.
I would agree with that.
Whoa.
The truth is somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, like, so it's the weird thing about this film that Ozza architected so beautifully is Lizzie's been talking a lot today about this, the way it starts so isolated and then as it gets busier, we kind of come together. So I think it's interesting the way we each think we have our own version of the truth. And as we're forced into this kind of exposure tank, just because of the stakes are so high with Dad in the other room, it's revealed that we each have our own, there's a little bit more empathy ends up cracking wide open, especially after that big fight.
Yeah.
And the big dialogue after that follows.
Yeah.
Oh,
Which
that's
is
right.
my favorite scene to shoot.
Yeah, I know. We don't talk about that one.
No, we don't. It's my favorite scene.
Yeah.
Good scene.
It's such a good scene. It was so incredibly moving. Elizabeth, I'm the oldest of 5 kids, and I know you come from a very big family as well, but there is this very unique dynamic when it comes to sisters. How much could you relate to that and bring your own experiences into this film?
Yeah, I think with every sibling I have, we have these ideas of what Natasha was saying. We have these ideas of who people are in a family, and so we will always treat them as such. And I think that is what Ozza presents to us at the beginning of the film, are these ideas of the characters in a, I wouldn't even call it one-dimensional because it's more dimensional than that, but in this kind of surface way of like, oh, Katie is controlling, Christina's always overwhelmed emotionally and can't handle it, and Rachel's checked out. And then, as like what Natasha was saying, as the film continues, we start to complicate these ideas of people, and I think we all can relate to that because I think we all don't feel always seen as who we are today and now with our siblings, because we are all making assumptions of something that happened from another time.
How many siblings do you have?
4. I'm the middle of 5. And I'm such a Christina Katie amalgam. Like I'm very much an oldest child, but I'm also kind of the harmonizer. So I love that you can sort of blend the sisters' personality types to create your own cocktail of siblings.
Oh, I mean, I cannot tell you how much I relate to that. How cool is it knowing that your director specifically wrote these characters with you three in mind? I mean, that's pretty special.
Well, and it's also like humbling. Like if the arts are, wanting to be sort of an act of service in some way, because it's sort of this exchange between the creator and then you guys are making it, and then it's going to the audience, and hopefully there's some sort of transmission process that happens along the way. It really, I think, puts you, so often in capitalism, in this life, it's like we're fighting for something. I got to get the guy, I got to get the part, I got the check, and like when somebody gives you a gift, it's like such a genuine act of love that you in turn really show up for that because you want to say you're welcome. Like, thank you, correctly.
Yeah, that's well put.
And it's also, he's creating
you
this.
You always want to say you're welcome. Thank you, by the way.
You're welcome.
Yeah, I know. It's like, you're welcome.
You want
so
me?
we showed up.
Welcome.
You're welcome. Yeah.
I think the other thing is Ozza came to us with these parts and knowing that he wanted to cast all 3 of us, and that clearly seemed to be mind-blowing for all three of us to be like, well, if that's really happening, that's wild. But he also was saying, and I want you to be equal creative partners in this every step of the way. I want you to feel like it's just as much yours as it is mine. And so there was like a true sense of collaboration and sense of ownership and responsibility that we were all able to approach this project from.
That's so nice. Well, listen, this movie is very moving. Like I said, I personally could relate to this, and I know a lot of other people will be able to as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
His Three Daughters hit select theaters today and is streaming on Netflix starting September 20th.